So today was Army of the Dead Day, and we were supposed to be using the hashtag Army of the Dead. And in conversation and so on, we ended up using it quite a lot. I have to assume it trended somewhat today. I'm not too sure. But in the spirit of Army of the Dead, here is a Zack Snyder interview with Screen Rant with Joe Deckelmeer. And there's some interesting things in there, and I just wanted to start off by looking at that. So I'm not going to go through the entire article here because that doesn't make sense. But what I will do is I will highlight certain points of it that I think are interesting. So the interviewer says, "I'm a huge fan of your work. Army of the Dead is brilliant and blends a lot of genres into really creative ways. Your lead, David Batista, continues to grow with every film. How does he ground the film and why do you want to cast him?" And Zack Snyder says, "I really needed him to be able to be broken, be earnest, be sensitive, and emotionally exposed. He was up to it, and he was up for it. I think he just does an amazing job. Really, really amazing. Plot elements like the government using a virus to abuse authority and doing temperature checks and stuff like that is way more politically charged than it was at the time of shooting the film. Was there any consideration to changing any of that due to potential backlash because of coronavirus?" Zack Snyder says, "No, we never really talked about it other than that we had taken some time to do reshoots and stuff. Also, the tone of the movie and its point is a social commentary. It just happens to land a little harder now." Man, I got to see this film. uh, I love the Snyder Cut, and the reels in the vault were for me. I feel like, does that have a different meaning to you now that the film was released into the world? And Zack Snyder says, "Yeah, it's really funny because it represents this point of when the Snyder Cut was really archival. It was a holy grail locked in some vault, in my vault. It's really cool to look at it now and know that when we shot that, there was no hope of the Snyder Cut ever coming out. Man, and here we are now, before this movie is released, and that movie is out," which is really dope, isn't it? I want you guys to picture this. Warner Brother Pictures had decided that there was no Snyder Cut. They put it out in the trades, in the media, that the Snyder Cut did not exist. I want you guys to remember that as we move forward restoring the Snyderverse. And this is where your confidence comes from. You were able to persist and cause to exist that which Warner Brothers said did not exist. Now moving forward, listen to me. The task is actually easier, not harder. Now they're saying that the Snyderverse is ended. But people with faith, people who believe, know it isn't ended. It isn't over. Because now they acknowledge that there is a Snyderverse and there is a Snyder Cut. These are the same people that said it didn't exist. I was one of them. And you won me over. And you can win those executives over. Yes, there'll need to be some reshuffling. Somebody's going to have to lose their job. But at the end of the day, you're going to win them over. You are going to win again. And Zack Snyder will be doing Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. But you've got to have faith and you've got to believe. And you've got to see the situation for what it really is, not what it appears to be. You guys defied the odds. You made history. And you're going to do it again. And it's going to be easier this time. But you cannot allow yourself to emotionally be carried this way or that way. You know what the situation was. It always was that situation, even when the Snyder Cut existed. So keep heart. I want to finish this off. He said, "What's next for Army of the Dead franchise? Are you going to be continuing in different genres?" And Zack Snyder says, "I'm knocking on wood right here, but there was an opportunity for a sequel. Shay and I knew exactly what happens with that. We've done a long and a hard look at where that movie would go, and it's pretty crazy. I'm working right now on an animated prequel that tells the story of where the zombies come from, so we can get back to Area 51 and go all the way. And that's crazy and cool. And it's a hard R animated adult animation." And then Matthias did Army of Thieves in Europe during Corona. And that movie is just finishing now. His is like a romantic comedy heist film. So it's cool that it's a genre busting, bending film, but it's just a separate genre. Now, of course, if we were to do a sequel to this, it continues the zombie story and it takes it even further. So, yeah. I mean, you know what I like about Zack Snyder is, he always has a plan. And, it doesn't work exactly how he envisions it, which is really cool. That's the thing about the collaborative process. Even the way how Wonder Woman the movie came out, which is an excellent movie, by the way, wasn't exactly how Zach had planned it, but he worked with the process. That's why I don't have a problem, let me just say, with creatives who start one way, but they end up finishing something else. You think of Joker, you think of Wonder Woman, you think of even Zack Snyder's Justice League, and even you think about Army of the Dead. Sometimes you start off with a certain set, a certain cast, and then some of the cast has to be rearranged because somebody has to leave or whatever. Somebody gets sick, somebody dies, whatever. Curveballs come all the time. So you can't be just held fast to one particular way. But that's the creative process. The point where studio involvement starts to harass the creative process is where we have problems. Now, of course, studios should know who they're hiring. Okay? Nonetheless, I digress. This is Army of the Dead, but obviously in the midst of it, we had to have some Snyderverse talk. And I just want to tell each and every one of you guys out there who support restoring the Snyderverse, whether you were a part of the Snyder Cut movement or not, or the Snyder fan movement or not, whether you're a Snyder fan or not, but you're supporting now, I just want to say to you, thank you so very much for doing so. I also would like you to support Army of the Dead. This is not necessarily a movie that you may take to in terms of now thinking about it. I am not interested in zombie movies, to be honest with you. That's never been my thing. I probably never will be, or maybe Zack Snyder will change my mind. But one thing I do know is Zack Snyder is a director who goes a little bit deeper with his stories. He's saying something. So it will be in my best interest to go watch Army of the Dead, even though that's not my thing. I don't like zombies. None of this really makes any sense to me, but I will go anyway and watch it. Now, here's the thing. The thing is, if you're supporting Zack Snyder's Justice League, I am pretty sure Zack Snyder's going to have a bunch of Easter eggs about Justice League. Okay, we saw a dark side symbol on one of the casts, tattooed to one of the cast chests. We saw the Snyder Cut sitting down inside of the vault, and so on and so on. So I guess there are a lot of Easter eggs to the Snyder Cut, and I'm looking forward to that. And also, well, obviously Zeus. The name Zeus is another name that it kind of uh, it's interesting. How did they even know his name is Zeus? Because he doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't really talk. He just goes, right? So it should be interesting to find out how that is. But I guess he has a tag on him or something. Um, I don't know much about Army of the Dead. I know nothing about the movie. But from what I'm hearing and how they're discussing it and the social consequences of the movie, it's very interesting to me. Zach seems to always somehow find a way to do something that's relevant to the time. So I'm all in. I'm all in on this movie. I want to see what it is about, and definitely may have to subscribe to Netflix or whatever and get my affairs in order just to make sure I can get this movie. but I'm looking forward to it. How about you guys? Leave in the comment section below if you're going to be watching Army of the Dead in theaters or if you're going to be watching Army of the Dead on Netflix. I would encourage as many of you as possible, if you can see it on the big screen. You know Zack Snyder, he's really good at doing these big IMAX things and big screen stuff. I suggest you watch it on the big screen. If I could go to the theater and watch it, I would. But in my country, I don't think so because IMAX is only in the States and not IMAX, sorry, Netflix, and they probably are going to have the limited amount of screenings, amount of viewings in those 600 theaters or cinemas in the States. So I'm probably not going to be able to see it. But if you can go out there and see it, I suggest you strongly go out there and see it. This is your boy, Christ I Am Disciple. I'm out. Peace.